I'm, d-
Cool.
I'm doing well.
Oh, good. So sorry about that. It's just I said the time difference. Our clocks haven't gone yet. So
No, no worries. Were you able to get everything you needed to do, my friend?
yeah, it was one of my folks. I think that. So I guess we'll just get started. So what was the genesis of the book?
So the book started out as an idea I had when I was at Walt Disney. When I was at Walt Disney, I was the non-traditional IP person for the creative acquisitions team, and so I had read, six, 700 pieces of IP, trying to flip it to Disney in terms of adaptation for their screenwriters, their production houses, and pod deals. And I just kind of had this inside of myself. I had this feeling where I was like, I kind of want a Joseph Campbell-esque story where the hero isn't necessarily, or the main character isn't necessarily the pilot, because as you know, most mech stories, the hero is the pilot, and we didn't
Yes.
want to do that this time. We wanted our character, Marcus Walker, to be the little brother. So his older brother, Caleb, is the actual pilot of the Kingslayer mech. And so there was kind of this genesis of, we want to do a mech story that's a little different, but we also want to combine, the hard on your sleeve storytelling of Jason Aaron, the hard lines of Sean Murphy, and kind of combines anime, Saturday morning cartoons, but has that kind of Disney-esque hero's tale, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that's
Cool.
kind of that. That's a very simple, long and short version of it.
Cool. So how did the artist come on board? How did you get him?
I used Instagram, truthfully, when I was
Oh, really?
searching for
Okay.
artists. Yeah,
Cool.
I was looking for artists, and I was looking through Power Rangers because I knew that was a very similar comp. And Simone was named because he did the new Dak and Dawn, I believe, the Ranger Slayer miniseries.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, he's got the action locked down, but could he do the character moment? So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, would you be interested? And he's like, I don't speak English, so my manager will have to translate. And I basically gave him that same exact type of pitch, and he said yes. And here we are, three years later, promoting the book.
So is there extra pressure on you because it's your first project as writer? Is there any extra pressure on you as the creator here, or one of the
I'm gonna.
creators?
I don't think so, because the best thing I can say is I don't have anything to compare it to. I mean,
Yes.
the real question will be in about 3 months' time, when hopefully the books are in people's hands and they can actually read it. Because I've had good feedback and I've had some, constructive feedback, but it's all been for the bettering of the story, and we were able to incorporate all those things. But I truthfully don't feel like there is pressure. But if I will say, there's an interesting take where, being considered a tastemaker, right? I used to work for United Talent
Yeah, of
Agency.
course. Yes.
I used to work for Disney. I'm kind of known, I work specifically with comics, James Tynion,
Yes.
Josh Williamson, Frank
Yes.
Miller, all the big kind of names. And now I'm like, okay, this is what I thought was good for Disney or UTA. Now I'm going to write my book. So there's kind of this weird thing of like, well, I think this is good and you should check it out now.
Yes. So how did you get Sean Murphy? Because I know he's on the cover for the
Mhm.
book. So how did you? Is it because you worked with him before? Is
Yes.
that how you
And
lined that up?
I was able to line that up. But the genuine question was, I told him, I'm like, hey, I got laid off from Disney, Bob Iger. And he's like, cool, what are you going to do? You going to go to, like, to another studio? And I'm like, I think I'm going to do comics. He's like,
Mm,
all right, well, when you figure out what your book looks like and you have an idea about it, let's just keep talking and then we'll make a deal. And he's been very a mentor of mine in that regard. He's given
yes.
me his thoughts along the process, telling me to potentially do it myself in that regard. And so he's just been a very positive influence on me in that regard. And when I said, okay, I'm ready, I would love to bring you on. And he's like,
Mm,
okay, here's kind of like my deal, here's my terms. And we were able to make it happen. And Rob Gilroy was very much in that similar vein. I had met him during
yes.
my entertainment days. I
Yes.
actually heard him on a podcast from Off Panel with David Harper,
Oh, cool.
and I just sent him a cold email to his website. I'm like, hey man, you don't know me. I work for Disney. I would love to just have like a Zoom coffee with you if that's cool. And he's like,
Yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so now we're working together.
Excellent. So, I mean, what are the pros and cons of running a Kickstarter? I mean, obviously, I've done it. So, but I mean, what for you are the
Yeah.
pros and cons of the project or a campaign?
It is all on you and your teammates. Let's put it that way. As someone who is partnering with mostly non-English speakers,
Yes.
it is all on you. So when it comes to, the press release, reaching out to folks on online, influencers, reviewers, all the things, that is all me, and that is me following up two, three, four, seven times to make sure it
Yes,
happens.
yes,
um, but the best part is that the team trusts me in that regard, because I've had, as you've kind of seen the rollout of the press tour, as people have called it.
yes, yes,
And I've kind of had this idea in the back of my head for 3 years. It's nothing new, it's nothing different. It's just, okay, here's kind of what I think could potentially work in terms of press outlets, reviewers. And during that time, I worked for smaller publications.
yes.
I worked on other Kickstarters, and I was always just transparent and honest and saying, hey, I know you're a content creator.
Mm,
You need content to talk about. So
yes,
I have content, whether it's my own or whether it's a
yes,
friend or someone
yes,
I'm working
yes,
with. Can we, can we strike a partnership? And luckily, almost all of them, if except for maybe let's say 10%, all said yes. And it's just been a wonderful thing now leading to this moment, because also I would kind of tease like, hey,
mm,
not to just drop it in your lap, but in due time, I have a book of my own coming. And they're
mm,
like, yeah, whenever you need.
yes,
So fast forward 3 years, when I started telling people about it, I basically pulled all the levers and tricks, and I was just like, okay, I'm finally ready now. And
yes,
they're like, cool, let's get it done. So that was how it all kind of happened in terms of pros and cons of running a Kickstarter. And the pros is, I kind of have let's say a bar of like, it
mm,
needs to look a certain way, it needs to feel a certain way. Again, I can't just put up a Kickstarter like some first timers can and just be like, okay, this is good enough. Well,
mm,
for me specifically, just with my background and who I
yes,
kind of know,
yes,
it kind of has to look a certain way. And with me, I wanted to have a little bit of a personality that wasn't necessarily the most obvious with mechs. I
yes,
mean, Simone off the hand said, "Oh, I would love a hex background, back matter type design." And he's like, "I want it to look like this." And then Trevor Richardson, our graphic designer, was like, "Cool, I'll make it." And then those were the banners, and then that influenced our kaiju ad when we started rolling those out. And then my graphic designer Zach Silver from Reflect Co. was
mm,
like, "Cool, I'm gonna make the video based off these graphics." And then it just kind of started influencing itself. And then they're like, "What music do you want?" I'm like, "Well, I listen to metal or modern metal, so let's make it more rock and roll." And everyone's like, "Are you sure? Like, shouldn't it be like this sweeping operatic?" And I'm like, "No, because that's every other mech thing. I'm not
yes,
Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm not
yeah,
Gundam, and
yeah,
we're not trying to be. We're not
yeah,
trying. Our hero is not a mech pilot. So let's just do something a little different." And then luckily, Simone was on board, and we have similar tastes in music, so
mm.
he was very excited. So I guess that's like the long and short
That's all
answer
right. No, no,
of
that's
the.
fine. So, how do you deal with the adrenaline rush and the ups and downs? Of emotionally speaking, of a Kickstarter when you have, a good day and then you have no pledges and,
Yeah.
and you're worried it's not going to get funded. How do you cope with that over the course of a campaign?
Well, I got very lucky. I had previous experience, whether it be with PCB, Keith Aram, when we
Yes,
did his Frostroad campaign, Sia Oyam with her
yes,
Neo Wonderland, and also
yes,
Adam Lawson with his Mad Dog Morgan. And I would just see firsthand, okay, there is no movement here. Is that because is there an, could you potentially add an add-on? Is there
mm,
something you could do to kind of generate excitement? Could you maybe stretch the
yes,
podcast or the
yes,
outlet reach?
yes.
So for me, I completely saw that firsthand with them, and I tried my best to kind of pace it out as best I could. But the wonderful thing for me that we found ourselves in is that we funded in a day,
I
which was
saw, which is amazing.
I thank you. We didn't know what to expect. I
No,
mean,
of
again,
course.
of course, everybody wants to fund, in
In
an
one
hour.
hour
Just
or
to,
something, but
yeah,
enough people don't, and it's just
yeah.
sometimes just the way it is.
Exactly. You don't know if you don't know if a president or a prime minister is going to start a brand new war all of a sudden, and it's
Well,
just
no,
going
precisely.
to.
Yeah, yes, yes.
So honestly, I just at this point I'm just excited to see that it's funded and that the book's going to come out no matter what. Now it's just, okay, is it going to get more premium in that regard? Because most of our stretch goals are just going to upgrade the book itself. So again, when we launched the book, we were very mindful of people's bandwidth and their wallets.
Mm,
We offering, $10 digitals, because again,
yes,
it's a 48 page book. Because
yes.
that $5 for $20 or $5 for 20 pages was kind of a steep ask for me, because I was like, come on, we all know sometimes it's hard to get a full chunk of story
Of
in 20
course.
pages. the professionals do it wonderfully, but that's also why they're professionals.
Mm,
And so this is
yes,
my first time out the gate.
yes.
So I was like, let's make it a 48-page book. Let's try and keep pricing down as best we
Mm,
can. So when people do look at our campaign, they see the Stephen Maida quote, the Sean Murphy cover, the pricing is, hopefully being
yes,
respectful,
yes.
and that it's kind of like a no question type response. And so I basically just we packaged it and
Mm,
got the messaging down so tight. It's basically now it's just let's see what goes, because again, we're not running ads, we're not
no,
doing anything in terms of monetization in the promotional space. Everything we've gotten in terms of promotion and exposure has been between me and Simone and our team. So
yes.
plus we kind of wanted to see how big of a splash we could make on our own. And
Okay.
so yeah, we're kind of
So I
excited
mean,
in
I
that
guess
regard. That it's
related to the other your other response, so you learn quite a bit from running other people's campaigns, which I guess
absolutely.
must have been useful to see, the pitfalls that they encountered and how you can avoid those. So I presume that
Yes,
you applied all of that when you were planning your own campaign.
absolutely. And also, I've backed over 106 campaigns now to this
Wow.
point. So I've seen board games,
I
I've
mean, it's
seen video
important to do that. I
games.
realize that Jimmy Palmiotti says it, and other people as well, that if you're going to run your own campaign, it's important for you to support other people's as well, because it's kind of like a two-way street. It's important to reciprocate and to support other people's projects, and I think
100%.
that's very important. I think that's one of the things that some people might not be aware of, because it's good to help other people out before you even do your own stuff.
Absolutely. And to that point, we currently have the project to be delivered to backers in August. But the thing is, the book's done.
Mm,
And the reason why we're having such a long leeway time
mm.
is the only thing we're changing is we're going to be adding people's names if they want the higher tiers. And
Okay.
I say that because we want this thing to go into printing as quickly as possible, because
Mm.
it says August. But what we're hoping for is to have the in people's hands, maybe June
Earlier.
or May, if
Yes.
if we're
Yes.
lucky,
Yes.
because then let's say if people resonate with the book, we can then hopefully do one in the fall, and then kind of hopefully start building a book in a very serious way, because we have at least 6 issues written,
Mm.
which are 3 oversized versions.
Okay.
And so we have a roadmap, but we just we
Yes.
kind of have to get the pieces available for us to get going.
Yes. So I assume, but because it's funded, you've got that extra momentum with the project. As you say, you want to see where it goes before the campaign ends. And I assume you've got kind of like late pledges set up as well, so that once the campaign
Yes.
ends, if anybody misses it, they can still pick something up.
Absolutely, because I've been in a position myself where there's campaigns that I want to back, and the rent hasn't been paid, so you have
No,
to pay me the
exactly.
rent, or
So you
you
want to
have
wait for
to.
the right time when you've got the money to be able to support them.
Absolutely. And again, we're doing that because we're trying to build an audience,
Mm.
as with your own campaigns, one
Yes.
backer at a time. And
Yes.
if we can meet said backers on
Mm.
how they want to be met in terms of, hey, I want to pay for it at the end, but I only want to get digital. Cool.
Mm.
You should be able to have that opportunity,
Yes.
at least if we can provide it. So
Yes.
yeah, that's where we try to meet people as best we can,
And I was
because
also
as
wondering, we do this as well. Are there any plans to talk to some publishers about getting it out there to a different audience? Because there are some people that just back Kickstarters, but there are people that would rather go into their local comic shop and buy, a comic. So are there any plans to get it out there through, another channel, shall we say?
As of right now, no. But I mean, that can change. And as of right now, we're currently doing our outreach. Me and my wife, we're
Yes.
reaching out to
Yes.
comic
Yes.
shops right now to tell everybody, hey, we have a secret tier for those retailers who want it. You'll hopefully get like a bundle at a
Mm.
decent cost with a
Yes.
discount.
Yes.
But specifically for this Kickstarter, it is only going to be the 48 pages.
Okay.
Now, as you said, if a publisher comes, because again, I'll be honest, we're already talking to potential some people,
Of
but
course.
again, we don't want to
No,
get ahead of
jinx it just in
ourselves.
case it doesn't
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
of course.
Well, but even then, we want to earn the story in that
Yeah, of
regard. But
course.
if we do get a publisher down the road, this 48-page
Mm.
version, will not be the version that goes into stores, because how we wrote it, the pagination, it
Mm.
breaks up into two evenly split stories. So
Okay.
technically, you're getting issues one and
And
two,
two,
but
yes.
we're selling it as one big one at one chunk of story.
Mm.
Because let's say if we're able to sign with a publisher and they're like, okay, next year we're going to launch Marcus at LCS's, we're going to do the first 22, 23 pages, I think it was, and
Yes.
that'll be it. Because
Okay.
if we can do the three Kickstarters that we have planned,
Mm,
that'll give us 6 issues for retail down the road
brilliant. So you can do
if we
like a
get there.
six-part mini series, ideally, with a potential future publisher.
Yes, and if we get to our third double sized or sixth issue, and fans are like, we want more,
Yes.
great. We'll start having those conversations when we get there. But we at least wanted to get to the point where we can get to a trade and then
Mm,
put that story on our shelves. Because if, let's say, if fans meet us halfway and they just
mm.
want to finish this story, me and Simone can at least tell the story we want to tell, get those 6 issues out as a trade, and then either put it on our shelves and start a new story, or figure something else out. But yeah, that's the plan.
So what sort of add-ons are you adding to the campaign between now and the end?
As of right now, we only have one new scheduled add-on. We might add a second one. I can tease it now. The first
Yeah,
add-on will
please.
be, yeah, will be a colored commission. So Simone is offering commissions, and now we are going to be adding a colored edition because some
Brilliant.
people who have wanted his commission want some color. So we're like, okay, cool. We
Yes.
didn't expect people to want
No.
that, so we're adding that. And then we're announcing, we have announced, but we're officially going to announce that we're going to be doing an ash can because Simone is actually flying to MegaCon
Oh,
Orlando,
nice.
because Oni Robot Studio, the management company he's repped by,
Mm.
has now signed a deal with Scott Collectibles, and they are all flying to
Cool.
MegaCon
Oh, nice.
Orlando. So me and Simone are going to be doing a MegaCon exclusive ash
Cool.
can, and if we have any left over, depending on how it goes, because again, we have no idea.
No, of course.
Um, if we have left ones left over, we might either do it as like whatever stock is left over, or to be fair to backers, because not everyone can make it to Florida,
No.
we may just have it be an open order of like, hey, we're going to be doing an ash can for this con, and if you're not available to come to the show, but you've already backed the Kickstarter and you want it said version,
Mm.
maybe we can make it a reasonable add-on. Because
Yes.
again, just trying to the logistics of printing,
Yes.
is taxing and expensive.
So the things like add-ons, do you look at other people's campaigns for inspiration
Absolutely.
about what you can do? And I guess you think about what your audience wants, basically, and you go, okay, this is perfect for our audience, so we're going to offer it as.
Absolutely. Because also, specifically with me and my taste, I didn't think doing for this first one,
Mm.
t-shirts, hats, foils,
Would be
medals,
appropriate, yes. No.
again, no disrespect to
No, of
people who
course.
like those. I get it, but as a first-time creator,
Yes.
we want to what is how is the thing, under promise and over deliver as best we can.
Yeah,
We want to
and
say,
keep things
hey,
relatively simple, I
yeah,
guess, to begin with, and then
yes,
expand with each campaign, possibly.
exactly. So if people go, hey, we want foils for the second one,
Mm.
or we want a T-shirt or a
Yes.
keychain, whatever,
Something, yes.
cool. We'll
Yes.
start having those
Yes.
conversations. But specifically for the campaign, we just our add-ons are mostly extra variants, and I think that's honestly it. We wanted the
Yeah.
story to be the
No, it's fair
story. So
enough. So are you obviously you feel happy with the current position because obviously you're funded and you're now seeing how much further you can push this basically. So you're in a very
yeah.
strong position.
Yes, we are very fortunate to be in this position, and it's one where, again, for 3 years we had no idea if it was going to work.
Mm. And of course,
But
there's no guarantee that you'll get funded as quickly the next time. So you have to kind of cut your cloth to suit your particular project. I'm mixing metaphors there, but you
no,
can.
no, no. I get exactly what
So
you're
there's
saying,
no obviously
because
the next project might be totally different, but at least with the second issue of this, you have an audience, you have people who back the first one and they want to see how the story develops.
exactly. And if someone says, "Hey, we want Sean's cover from issue one, but we want it slightly different," maybe that's how we do foils, or maybe that's
Mm.
how we do like a recolor,
Yes, or
or find a
something, yeah,
way to be, yeah, or find a way to be respectful to the collectors for
or
the
offer
first
something
printing.
different.
Yes,
Cool. Well, listen, good luck, congratulations. It's hopefully the first
thank
of
you.
many projects, and
Yes.
I'm thank you for the chat.
Oh, thank you for making time and always.